Chelsea smashed Port Vale 7-0. They completely battered that team. They dominated, just were in cruise control throughout this match, finally shaking off that 4-game winning streak, and all is well in Chelsea, right? We're finally back on track. This team is looking like the old Chelsea that we're all used to, right? Look, before we get into that, this was just job done. Chelsea did exactly what they need to do. They go up a goal in this match early from Hato, and then nobody at any point after that early goal, it's like, you knew the game was over. And look, heading into this match, I had already felt like Chelsea were gonna demolish this team. I didn't expect that they would score 7 goals, but I knew that they'd score maybe 3, 4, 5, 6. So they did what they were supposed to do. You're playing a team like Port Vale, who is sitting in relegation completely at the bottom of the table in League One. You're playing, this team is going to Stamford Bridge, playing a Chelsea team that had lost 4 straight games, and just a lot of negativity going around this team. You got all the Enzo Fernandez comments, the Marco Cucurella stuff, which we'll get into. And they did exactly what they were supposed to do. And you got a lot of fans divided here, because on one hand, you got fans saying like, look, Chelsea win 7-0. What else do you want? What else do you want from Rosenior? Got the job done, right? And then on the other hand, you got a fan saying, well, slow down a bit, because it's Port Vale. It's at home, Stamford Bridge, playing a inferior side, a side that's probably going to get relegated, go down to League 2. And like, what did you expect was going to happen with a Chelsea team that, sure, they were low on confidence, but this is exactly what we expected. It's Port Vale. It's a get right spot. It's a home game. And Chelsea, are they actually finally back on track? And are we going to see them make a push to Champions League? Look, I don't think we could say that we've learned a lot from this match, because nobody really had any doubt that Chelsea were going to win this game. And sure, did they look good? Were they playing good football? Yes. But what can you really take away from a match where Chelsea were just so much better? They go up a goal they go up a goal very early, and then Port Vale, the whole strategy is pretty much out the window at that point, right? They can't play defensively for the rest of this match. The match is already pretty much done and over, dusted, over in 2 minutes. But more importantly, though, the whole drama around this team with Enzo Fernandez being suspended for 2 games, that still is a much bigger issue, because sure, Chelsea today, they needed to win. Liam Rosenior made a big judgment right there, suspending Enzo Fernandez for 2 games for this match, and he needed a response from his team. He needed to see that they could win without Enzo Fernandez, and sure, they could be Port Vale without Enzo Fernandez. No doubt about that. But it was the fact that they dominated, just completely batter this team without Enzo. And this does bring in a lot of good energy. And yes, if you're a Chelsea fan, you got to be happy. There's no other way to put it. You beat a team 7-0. It's been a long time that Chelsea have battered any team. So sure, you got to be happy. But at the same time, I want to see this Chelsea. I have to see this Chelsea against better sides. I got to see this in the Premier League. I got to see the Champions League. I don't care that they could beat a team like Port Vale 7-0. It's good. I like when my team wins, but I'm not ready here to say that, yeah, that's it. Liam Rosenior, he's doing a great job. Blue Co, this is a great project so far. And yeah, this is the turning point right here, right? This is exactly what's going to, turn this shit back around. And this is exactly what we've all been waiting for. No. This is just, look, Chelsea did what they were supposed to do. They got out there. They went up early. They scored more goals. Everyone had a good time. But what are they actually going to do against Man City? That's the real question, because it's a bold decision from Liam Rosenior and Blue Co to bench Enzo Fernandez, considering that he didn't really do anything wrong. Sure, he had been saying a lot of stuff about the club. He's been kind of flirting with Real Madrid. And then there's John Terry's comments about, look, you're wearing the vice captain armband. You shouldn't be talking about, wanting to live in Madrid and all this stuff. But look, we know that players typically, when Real Madrid comes knocking on the door, they're gonna be excited. Nobody could say no to Real Madrid. But look, in reality, the real issue here is that Enzo Fernandez went public, said a lot of things. Marco Cucurella also said similar things, but didn't get suspended. And then instead, it's Enzo Fernandez who's the one who's going to miss the Man City game. And if you know players, you know that they nobody wants to be benched or suspended for a big game, especially this late in the season. So to make that call and just say, look, Enzo Fernandez, you said a lot of things, mate, that's not the kind of culture we're having here. You crossed the line. What exact line was crossed here? Because they were asking questions. He's on international duty. He's speaking in Spanish. They're asking these kind of, interview questions like, hey, like, where do you want to live in Europe? And he's like, Madrid. Like, look, a lot of people would want to live in Madrid. Madrid's a nice city. But the main issue here is this exactly what we want to see from Chelsea? Suspending players for speaking up and saying things that are on their mind and doing these kind of interviews? Because to me, this whole thing just seems backwards. You got a player who's clearly not happy, a World Cup winner. He helped this team win the Club World Cup, and he expects that they're going to be buying more into this team, buying more experienced players. They let him down this season. You get smashed by PSG over 2 legs. And then what did you expect that he was just going to be like, yeah, I mean, I'm loving it here at Chelsea, right? They ask him if he's going to be at Chelsea next season. He's like, look, I don't know. And what we do know is that he's not happy about what went down because Javier Pastore pretty much said that it was unreasonable for that to happen. Rosenior was like, look, like, I'm not going to comment on that. Look, we know that Enzo Fernandez is a great player. He's a great midfielder. Chelsea paid a lot of money for him. But from Chelsea's, from Bluco and Rosenior's side, they haven't really quite done enough for this team. And in some ways, they've let Enzo Fernandez down. You got Marco Cucurella, on the other hand, talking about how, like, maybe one day he'll play for Barcelona. He doesn't get suspended, but it's Enzo Fernandez who has to sit out against Port Vale, and then now a Man City. This is a match where Chelsea really need a result here. I don't care about the Port Vale match. I care about the home game against Man City, where Chelsea have been so poor at home. And then they got to go play Man City, and then after that, Man United. And then it's just, okay, so they expect now that Enzo Fernandez, after Man City game, he's just going to be, oh yeah, like, I'm happy, guys. Like everything's okay. Like, forget what I said. Like, I think that there's some clear issues going on there. And to decide that the decision for his interviews and all these things he was saying was, yeah, you're going to get suspended. To me, it just sends the wrong message to players. I think that there was a better way to handle it. And sure, should he be saying those things as a Chelsea player? I don't care really what players really say. I care more about what they do on the pitch. And he wasn't openly saying like, yeah, I really want to play for Real Madrid. It was just like, look, like, he's not happy, so he's making these sort of comments, kind of like, throwing a little bit of shade, but players do a lot of these things. We saw Mo Salah do the same thing, and then Salah also got benched too. It's just, look, this is just the way, this is the direction that we're seeing these clubs in. They don't like being criticized, but in reality, Chelsea need to do more. They need to sign more experienced players. And then now, where does Chelsea go from here? Because they got to play Man City and Man United. Those are going to be 2 tough matches. Playing against Man United, they're Chelsea's boogeyman. Like, that's going to be a tough match. But what did you guys think of the result about Port Vale smashing Chelsea? Are Chelsea actually back? Do you think we get a result against Man City? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe.